Hey, what's up, guys? Tuki here, back again with another episode of my Seattle Mariners franchise mode series right here on MLB The Show 19. In this episode, we begin our fourth season with the Mariners, and really for the first time, we can kind of have a little bit of hope surrounding this team and whether or not we'll actually have a little bit of success. We've only finished over 500 once. That is, of course, by design, as we have looked to rebuild, and so far so good. I mean, you look at the fruits of this rebuild thus far, and the acquisitions of Jack Flaherty and Chris Paddock, who I hope will be very crucial parts of a successful team down the road. Hopefully this season we'll see the continued emergence of Justice Sheffield, and then of course we picked up Max Scherzer and Masahiro Tanaka. Not exactly the two main guys we were looking at in terms of picking up for starting pitching help, but at the very least, they should help us out quite a bit. And if, we aren't exactly a playoff team come deadline day, we could look to make a move. The bullpen as well saw the addition of Archie Bradley. He'll be our closer this year. We also picked up a couple of other veterans to help fill out this roster. Main guy to look at in terms of a prospect here is Pedro Rodriguez, now 22 years old. Lineup-wise as well, it was called the Seager Saga, but the last episode was highlighted by the addition of Javi Baez, who has joined this team alongside others like Eloy Jimenez, Pete Alonso, and Austin Riley, who will be leading the way. It is, of course, the strongest this team has looked throughout this run. No real plans on getting rid of anybody at this moment, even if Baez is a little bit older than what we'd be looking for. I mean, the goal, again, for this team is to be successful and to make it to the playoffs for the very first time. Now, I have my doubts over the legitimacy of these rankings, considering in the Angels run on Twitch, we had an Angels team that was rated 29th in defense, yet if you added up the fielding ratings of all of my starting players compared to the number one team, we actually had a higher fielding rating than that team. So I don't know if I put too much stock into these ranks at this point, but we are the 10th ranked team overall. Things are looking pretty damn interesting. And in terms of the top prospects, again, right now the list is a little bit barren, which I feel like is a tad bit unfair, but of course Kelenic is still there, and I'm intrigued to see what he can do down in AAA. It'll probably be the last season that he is there. So what we are going to do is sim ahead towards the draft at the beginning of June. We'll make our way to the All-Star break and then take a look to see how the team is doing. So I will talk to you guys in about 2.5 to 3 months when it is draft time yet again for Seattle and everybody else. It's the draft. It's not just for us. I'll see you in a minute. Well, I said at the start of this episode that the hope was for us to be over 500 on the year, and so far that is true, just not as far ahead of 500 as you would have hoped. 28 and 26 on the season thus far. We started off the season pretty strong, and then it quickly, kind of dipped back down to reality throughout May. But overall, we're looking good thus far. Now, of course, we'll pay attention more to the stats and how individuals are doing after the draft. So let's go ahead and get down to business as we beat Texas and sweep Texas over those last two games. We have the 12th pick in the draft, Baltimore selecting number 1 yet again. No compensation picks, of course, so we'll have to do whatever damage we can here. First up, Ryan Pratt. He's 25. Not going to be ready for 2 years, though, which is a little bit worrisome, but that'd be an interesting player to pick just for the hell of it. Jose Santana's 18 and not exactly amazing right now. I mean, the whole scouted velocity and break look incredible, but obviously there's some work to be done there, but I'd choose him over Pratt in a heartbeat. Guevara, we wouldn't want to take in the first round. I don't need an elite closer in the first round. There's a very good chance he'll still be there in the second. Raul Quiones, not bad. Mr. Quiones, I don't know, close enough. Not bad, but not amazing. It'd be between him and Santana. Darren Moran, again, not bad, but not amazing. Alfonso Fernandez, the center field, nope. Just nope. Moving on. Robert Ramirez, going to be ready in 2 years. He's 18 years old. Oh, boy. Okay, that's interesting. For the contact, I mean, the vision, he's fairly well-rounded. He's never going to be a big power hitter. It's an interesting one. Rojas, I would not take in the first round, of course. Jack Rudolph, I wouldn't take in the first round, although he's looking pretty damn good. Marcel Self, going to be ready in 2 years, 21 years old. Okay. Oh, boy. Between Self and Ramirez, that's where it gets to be interesting. Or we still have the catcher, Charlie Jorgensen, who, again, just a massive project of a catcher. I think for me, I mean, right now you have one of the two project starters in Santana or Quinones, or we go for Robert Ramirez or Marcel Self. And I'd go for Ramirez over Self, even though Self has a little bit more to the power game, I would think, just because obviously Ramirez is a little bit younger. But I mean, that's a tough one. That is a tough one. Vision and discipline and the fielding. I mean, Self is looking to be a little bit better. I gotta be honest, Self is looking like he might be just a tad bit better. I do wonder if Ramirez's ETA would change and drop just a little bit if we were to have him fully scouted out. But Ramirez or Marcel Self, it's kind of a tough one. I think just for what could be in the power game of Marcel Self, that wouldn't be the worst way to go. Or we take a starter, and it's not as if we're going to have any difficulty getting starters. Of course, there's no limitations on trading or free agent signing, so we're never really going to have trouble, getting top-notch starters. It's just whether or not they decide to blow it in the playoffs, pretty much. And as is normally the question. But 4 pitches there for Santana, the 5 for Santana, which isn't too bad. Or Quinones and then Santana, my bad. So Jose, it's just, do we take the project starter, or do we take an infielder who might be able to help sooner rather than later? Oh, God. You know, I think I might risk it. I'm going to risk it. I'm going to take the first baseman, Marcel Self. I'm not 100% on this, but as long as one of those other players that we were looking at happen to be available in the next round, I'll be okay with it. Although that is very, very unlikely, as Quinones just went off the board. We don't even have a second-round pick. Yikes. Okay, well, boy, I better hope he ends up being pretty damn good. Jose Santana's still there. How? Okay, well, that worked out pretty well. Santana's somehow still available in the 3rd round, and then hopefully in the 4th round we can get Rudolph or Guevara. But we'll definitely take that project starter, Jose Santana. Although, it's a little bit worrisome. Mainly the hits and the Ks and the low scouting. Whereas Jack Rudolph and Guevara, for that matter, are both looking pretty damn good. I just don't know if I trust that Jose Santana is actually going to be that good by the end of it. Just, how good will the control rating eventually be? He's not going to be a big strikeout guy, even though the velocity and the break is pretty good. So it's just, what kind of pitcher is that going to create? I don't know about that one, man. I don't know about that one. I'm going to go for Rudolph over Guevara. But Guevara's also not that... You know what? I got to go for Santana and hope that Rudolph or Guevara is still there. So here's hoping that somehow, some way, and I think they are still both available. That is outrageous. God, who do we go for here out of those two? So that's crazy. Out of the, 3 of the players I was looking for, I'm going to get 3 of them. Out of that massive list of first-round talents. And, of course, the rest of the draft's looking a little bit slim for us. We haven't even looked, but I'm good with keeping an eye on the 80 potentials. Someone like Tyler might not be that bad, but at this point, we're committed. Let's go for, I think Guevara might be a little bit better. The fact that there's also a Guevara from South Dakota is hilarious to me for some reason. But overall, I mean, it's fairly even. It's just the fact that the Guevara is going to be ready next year. Not that Rudolph's going to take that long. I'm going to take Bruno Guevara. I like the attributes a little bit more. And if there's a miracle, wow, 4 of them. 4 of the players we were looking at in the first round we end up getting, despite the fact that we did not have a second-round pick. That is insane. Now, as far as who else is available, we have Chet Watson, another reliever. A lefty as well. That's interesting. Vladimir Silva, a Russian Brazilian from the Dominican. He's not. Look, he's not anyone that we're looking at. So we can take Watson or just hope for the best with someone like Chad Cox or George Lopez. Okay, so we can take George Lopez and I can say "Wacha" every 5 seconds, or we go for, and again I wish I could trust that, of course, George Lopez or Chet Watson. Chet Watson or Wacha. Oh God. Chet Watson or George Lopez. Damn. I'm gonna go for Chet. I'm sorry. Oh God, still love the George Lopez show. Oh, he was the last pick in the draft. He went to the Cards. All right. So that ended up being a fairly interesting draft just for how many of the players we were looking at in the first round we ended up with. The question is, how good are they? Okay then. Whew. Well, that's promising. That's fairly promising. Marcel Self, 21 years old, a 64, 82B potential. Right. So it's going to take him a little bit to develop. He's about 11 overall points away from me considering him being worthy enough of being a bench player. But he's not bad. He's not bad. Jose Santana is a steal for a second round pick, 60 overall at 18 years old. So obviously, hopefully by the time he's 21, he's pushing for a spot. That is a very good pickup, and here we'll obviously sign Self and Santana. So happy with those two picks. Obviously, about time Self was 18 years old, that would be a steal and a half, but Self should make it. Santana should make it as well. Bruno Guevara, 75 overall at 23 years old, 88 potential. He is going to be in the bullpen next year, more than likely, so we'll sign him to that amount of money. Only real concern, the attributes are fairly solid. 46 stamina as well. The lack of control is a bit concerning, but the break is nasty for someone who does have a curveball and a slider as well. I like what I'm seeing there. Rudolph, if he's in the 70s, I'm going to lose it. Oh, so close. 67 at 18 years old with that 88B potential. Obviously, between break control velocity, he needs some work, but that's not a bad pickup. And then Chet Watson's a 72 at 20 years old, 81B potential. That, my friends, is one hell of a draft. No A potential guys, but we just got 5 players who will eventually make this roster. No doubt about it. Especially, too, when our bullpen is arguably the least set position that we have. We just added 3 additions to it. Santana as a project starter, and Marcel Self, hopefully, as the eventual first baseman of this team if Pete Alonso doesn't make it. But that is a damn fine draft. The question is, what is this team looking like? We are 6.5 games back of Oakland, but currently tied for the wild card, so not too bad. In terms of the rotation, Flaherty's 4-5, but the ERA is solid. It's not amazing, but it's solid. What's the FIP at this point? Oof. If our defense is a little bit better, man, he'd be looking pretty good. Jack Flaherty's having a really good year, all things considered. Chris Paddock has been even better. The win-loss record, again, leaves a bit to be desired, but I'm loving Chris Paddock right now. Loving it. Justice Sheffield has an under 4.0 ERA. Again, the 2-5 record isn't amazing, but Justice has been... he's been okay. He's been okay. I'm worried for his future, but he's been okay. Max Scherzer has been horrific. Absolutely horrific. That ERA is so disgustingly bad. For someone who was supposed to help out, it's not looking too good. Masahiro Tanaka's been a little bit better at a 3.26 ERA, which I think is a team high. So Tanaka's lived up. Oh, God. And if anything, that's... ooh. So whereas Flaherty and Paddock have been better than what their ERA shows, Tanaka actually has the second highest ERA among starters. Tanaka's ERA is a bit of a fluke. So go figure, the 2 guys that we signed to help out are arguably our 2 weakest options. Go figure. Now we do have Chad Kuhl as our long reliever, and he's looked pretty damn good. Could argue he deserves a spot as the starter, so... I'll give Scherzer and Tanaka until, say, the All-Star break to turn it around, but yeah, they need to do just that. They need to turn it around. Oh, Pedro. Okay, the ERA is a bit high. The whip is great. You know, again, another guy whose ERA is a little bit higher than it should be. He's much better than what the ERA indicates. A 2.07 FIP is outrageous. So that's good to know, at least. Kyle Crockett, the whip is outrageous. The ERA is great. Kyle Crockett's been great for a random free agent signing. David Phelps, on the other hand, not so. Ooh, okay, Phelps, you gotta go now. You're terrible. Dan Altavia, 2.70 ERA. The whip is fine. Altavia's been great, no complaints. Sammy T, okay, and okay, that's. I'll give you time to turn it around. And then Archie Bradley, 12 saves, 4 blown. Okay, that's not great. The whip is fine. He hasn't been great, man. He really has been, but David Phelps has to go this instant. So I'm not sure who our best bullpen guy has been. John Gatlin's been great. Gerber was called up before. Merle Willingham, of course, the Willingham and Tom Salinas. But yeah, something needs to be done there. Do I want to bump up John Gatlin? Probably not. But he's been pretty damn good. 30 control. I feel like if I bump him up, he is going to get ripped to shreds at the major league level. Von Mueller, I don't want to waste him yet. Trey McLeod. Do I have room to sign another veteran reliever? Hopefully I do. Because Phelps has to go now. Tommy Hunter is the best option in terms of overall. Can I just sign Tommy Hunter, please? Even though that's a drastic overpayment, can I just sign him? Cool. So we'll sign Tommy Hunter instead of making a trade immediately. And we will be dropping David Phelps to AAA, which means AAA is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, which means Trey McLeod will go down to double. That's 3, 4, 5, and 6. And that means Ron Stewart will go down to single. So we have one too many relievers, but that's okay. So we'll see how Tommy Hunter does now that we've signed him. The rest of the bullpen, there are some, interesting players to look at, but no one that I'm eager to get rid of right now. And then, obviously, starting pitching-wise, Scherzer and Tanaka. I mean, it's got to be better, and if not, they get dealt because they're not doing that great. Anyway, Malik Smith hitting 277 and 815 OPS. He's been great. No real complaints there. Javi Baez hitting 302 and 866 OPS. No complaints there either. Eloy, 9 home runs on the season. 744. Yeah, that could be better. Pete Alonso, a 7.64. Okay, I'm not overly amped up about either of you right now. Oh, Austin Riley. Oh, no. Gee, okay. Like, I know you guys are younger, but Jesus Christmas. Oh, my God. A 187 average for Alfaro. 694 OPS, though. This is, okay, so, it's at the point where, like, everyone's struggling. Kind of. Jonathan India's been great, though. We're gonna change things around a little bit. Guys like Brandon Lowe and Jonathan India are gonna be given a much better chance here. Because why the hell not? If you're actually performing, damn it, you'll get the chance. So congrats to Jonathan India and Brandon Lowe. They're gonna move up quite a bit. Austin Riley again had that 663 OPS. Eloy still at a 744. Pete Alonso at a 764. Riley, I think, will drop below Alfaro, and then Ubayashi was at a 673. So that is going to be the lineup moving forward, as outrageous as that is. So, again, Jonathan India will be in here. Unfortunately, that means Brandon Lowe is out when we don't have a DH, so it'll be Alonso, Jimenez, Alfaro, Riley, and Ubayashi. So not exactly what I was expecting this team to be. Again, Alonso, Jimenez, Alfaro is the order of the day. But congratulations to Jonathan India, because damn it, I will reward people for doing well. And you have done quite well thus far. So that'll be the lineup. We'll actually make personnel changes once we get towards the deadline if that's necessary. So we have 4 games here against Houston. They're 1 game above us. We have 40 players on the 40-man, so I mean, yeah, that's obvious who we'll be getting rid of. That will be Mr. Phelps, or not, because I can accidentally sort. Phelps, remove from the 40-man. Have fun on irrevocable waivers. And if someone claims you, then hey, more power to them. As we take 3 out of 4 against Houston, an 18-5 loss where Paddock got destroyed, but overall, not too bad to take those games away. We also win another 3 over Texas, 6-0 against them in the past 2 weeks. We have 3 more games against Houston yet again, and they get revenge, winning that series 2 out of 3. We lose 2 straight games to San Fran. Now we have 4 games against a very bad Baltimore team in which we swept them over the course of those 4 games. We're now 10 games above 500, but we get to play the Red Sox. Oh boy. How's this going to go out for us, go down for us? As we, a split's not bad. All things considered, still 10 games over 500. We have 3 games against the Reds here, and we end up losing that series despite winning the first game. 2 games against Pittsburgh, we split those. Now another 4 games against Texas. We win the first and lose the next 2, ultimately splitting that series 2 games apiece. 4 games against the 500 LA Angels of Anaheim as Billy Hamilton gets dealt to the Rockies for John Gray, Delino DeShields Jr., and Carter Capps. So an interesting pickup there for the Rockies. Hamilton not exactly having the greatest year, at least in terms of batting average. As we end up taking 3 out of 4 against Los Angeles, we have 3 games against Oakland. They're a decent little team this year, but 3 games against Oakland here before the All-Star break. We will win the series. We will sweep the series, as the home run derby is today in Baltimore. Martinez, Goldschmidt, Judge, Andhar, Teoscar, Hernandez, Myers, Hoskins, and Mitch Haniger in Chicago. So as of the All-Star break, 53-39 on the season. Definitely on pace for our best season to date. We're 5 games back of Oakland. Everyone else is even further back, and we are currently 4.5 games up on the Rays in the wild card. So on pace to be a playoff team. That is exactly where you would want to see us at this point. And in the injured list, we have nobody there at the moment. So let's take a look again at the stats here. So Jack Flaherty, up to a 10-5 record, a 2.82 ERA. I mean, he has been tremendous this season. Absolutely tremendous. The ace I was hoping that he could be. That is fantastic to see. Chris Paddock with a 3.17 ERA. Not quite as dominant as he was last year, but he has still been tremendous. These two, at least for this half of the season, have absolutely lived up to the self-imposed hype that I placed upon them. Love that we have those two. Justice Sheffield, 6-7, the halfway point of the season. ERA is under 4, so not too bad. The whip's looking okay. It's the underlying stats of the FIP component ERA that really kind of concern me. So, I mean, obviously in the future, having him as the 3 guy is not the plan. But yeah, those underlying numbers are a little bit concerning, to the point where the argument could be made dealing him now would be the better way to go, just to make the most of his trade value, which will probably never be higher than it is right now. Again, that ERA, that's been helped out by the team around him rather than it being him himself. So, questions over Sheffield. Max Scherzer's getting traded. I mean, whatever the hell we can get for Max Scherzer, we'll take. He has been brutal. Brutal. He is gone. And Masahiro Tanaka's actually done pretty damn well. 2.8 ERA. The underlying numbers, those are still pretty rough, though. So it makes you wonder, again, you have Sheffield, whose ERA is lower than it should be, and then you have, I mean, the same thing with Tanaka, where he has a great ERA, but those underlying numbers are concerning, and at the very least, Max Scherzer's getting traded. Whether or not Chad Kuhl should be the guy to step up into the rotation, the ERA is slightly over a 4. He's probably better suited as a long reliever, so I think we deal Scherzer. There's the question over whether or not it would be worth dealing Tanaka if he has any value, and then the same thing with Sheffield because those underlying numbers are concerning. I mean, down in the system, we do have someone like Chad Leahy, but I don't know if we want to rush him. I mean, I'm not sure who we would want to necessarily bring up. I mean, Aaron Wilkerson's 23, but, I mean, obviously those stats aren't, or the attributes aren't amazing. But we do have room to go out and bring in a little bit of help for this team. But right now, I mean, Scherzer absolutely has to go. Sheffield could probably be traded. And, I mean, obviously that means we have to bring in at least one start. And then Tanaka could be traded as well. Just because I know the ERA is low, but, man, those underlying numbers, I don't know if I could trust him in the playoffs if we get there. As far as the rest of the bullpen is concerned, Pedro Rodriguez, again, that ERA is pretty high. The whip is pretty high right now. But at least for the FIP, the underlying numbers are looking okay. Obviously, he's a young enough player. We're not going to get rid of him. Kyle Crockett, who was one of the free agent signings. ERA and whip are looking great. Crockett's been amazing. So he's absolutely going nowhere. Tommy Hunter, ever since we signed him, he's had 13 innings of work. The ERA and whip are meh. He's been good, though. He's been really good. So Tommy Hunter, not a bad veteran addition to the pen. Dan Altavilla, ERA and whip's a little bit high, but the underlying numbers are at least the FIP's looking okay. The Capone ERA is leaves a bit to be desired, but he's going nowhere. Sammy T, ERA is great, whip is phenomenal. There can't be. We have so few players who are just universally, yes, they've been great this season, but obviously he's going nowhere. And then Archie Bradley. The ERA and whip are fine. Yeah, Bradley's going nowhere as well. So the bullpen's pretty much good to go. I mean, there's no doubt bringing in like another surefire can't-miss guy would be the way to go. But because Tommy Hunter's been such a decent addition, I think we're okay. Because while it would be nice to be a playoff team this year, we don't necessarily want to go all in and start dealing prospects to make it, better. We're on the right trajectory right now. If we make the playoffs this year, awesome. Of course, there would be no expectations to win, and it wouldn't be worth going all in to try and win right now with this team. So really, the only question right now is Sheffield and Tanaka, but Scherzer absolutely has to go. I'll be dealing him in this episode, but I'll leave it up to you guys as far as Sheffield and Tanaka are concerned. I want to hear from you in those beautiful comments. As far as the lineup is concerned, Malik Smith, the OPS has dropped a little bit, but obviously no plans of moving him. The 356 on base percentage as a leadoff man. Not too bad. Only 8 stolen bases, though, despite the speed and the stealing. Javi Baez, 849 OPS. Not too bad. You could argue maybe making a slight change. I mean, the 336 on base. But I like that 1-2 punch of Smith and Baez. Jonathan India, who we moved to the 3 spot, still has an 831 OPS. 19 home runs on the season. Not exactly expected to have him in the 3 spot, but he's been pretty damn good. Brandon Lowe, 744 OPS, 351 on base, 10 home runs, 29 RBIs. So, I mean, that's the argument you can make, right? Is maybe moving Baez back to the 3 or the 4 spot and dropping Lowe. But considering Lowe doesn't play unless we have a DH, is that necessarily worth it? That's the question. Pete Alonso. Ooh, there you go, Pete. Pete's turned the corner. OPS up to almost a .9. That is much, much better. So Pete will go right back into the 3 spot, or actually to the 3 spot for the first time. Eloy's still struggling. Only a 707 OPS. He hasn't quite been what we've wanted him to be. Alfaro's seen the average go up to an 809 OPS. I'm actually going to bump up Alfaro now that the batting average has gone up a little bit. Austin Riley only hitting 230, a 682. So Eloy and Riley haven't exactly been what I would have hoped for them to be. And Ubayashi at a 697 OPS. I'll still leave in the 9 spot. So shockingly, I mean, it's guys like Alonso and India leading the way rather than Jimenez and Riley, which is what you would hope for. I mean, of course, with these two, no plans on trading them yet. They're still young enough, but slightly concerning that they're being outplayed by Jonathan India. Obviously not the, in terms of name value, it's not quite what you would have hoped for. So it'll be Alonso, India, Alfaro, Jimenez, Riley, and Ubayashi. And then, of course, if Brandon Lowe's in, he's in the 6th spot. So not quite what I would have expected. But, of course, we will continue to adjust this lineup based off of performance. I mean, I don't care if Eloy should be ideally in the 3 or 4 spot. If he's not playing up to that level, then screw it. I know he's not happy with the role. I know he's not happy with the money. I don't really care. It's either perform or get dropped and then ultimately traded if you're not going to perform. So that is what the lineup's going to be looking like. Again, no real desire to make changes just yet, because any changes we were to make would be major. We're talking Jimenez and Riley, right? I mean, you could technically say a better outfielder aside from Ubayashi, which, you know, could work. But obviously, you know, we do have some built-in replacements coming up for the minors. Infield-wise, Ray Mitra, obviously. Nick Prado at first, who's kind of struggling this year. You could argue, though, that even, you know, if we were going to get an outfielder, maybe it would just be worth it to give Kelenic the chance in the outfield over Ubayashi. Or, you know, over trading for somebody else to replace Ubayashi. We have that built-in replacement already. So overall, I like what I'm seeing for the most part. We do have some underperforming players. I'll leave it up to you guys, obviously, in terms of, you know, hey, you know, how much of a leash do we give Jimenez and Riley? Not that I plan on dealing them immediately. But we got to give this team time. Got to give this team just a little bit of time. At the very least, though, Max Scherzer is out of time because of his value. We are absolutely going to look to deal him for whatever we can get. I want to see in terms of just prospects, preferably to an NL team. Although, you know what, 37 years old, we could deal him to an AL team without concern. Josh Bennett just isn't really good enough. Feltman and Hernandez. I mean, Hernandez could be the built-in replacement, and then Feltman would help the bullpen. So that's actually not the worst offer. Dermis Garcia wouldn't give much to us, though. Blaze Alexander. Not bad. And then Rob Nam as a starter, or Nam perhaps. Alexander wouldn't be too bad, but we don't really need that infield help. I'm thinking of, you know, like, hey, if we can get a starter here, awesome. David Koo from Tampa. Also not too shabby. Jesus Sanchez is there. Josh Lowe and Chavez. But again, you know, I know I searched for prospects, but that's the thing. If we can find a prospect who's close to being a starter, that would be even better. That's why I don't necessarily hate that offer from the Red Sox. But after this, I am going to take a look at the best, you know, options available for both. George Valera is looking great. That's honestly a tough prospect to deny. Although Nunez also not that bad. You got Thatcher. You know, damn, this is tough. Because again, you got guys like Thatcher, you got guys like Valera. You know, having to turn down those type of guys because we're, you know, kind of looking for a starter. That makes it difficult. Austin Franklin, if he wasn't C potential, I'd be all over that. Schrader from the Houston Astros, also not bad. Nick Nieder, if you weren't 24, I would consider it. Antuna from the Nats, Bo Naylor, Tim Cate. Okay, I gotta be honest, I'm not really seeing what I'm looking for there. Let me hit MLB Ready and see who we're looking at instead. So Paul Fry and Jomar Reyes, not quite. Smith and Kike, nothing really there. Hector Rondon's 34. Rick Porcello, absolutely not. Brian Mata, absolutely not. Feltman Miea, absolutely not. Aaron Sanchez and Luis Cessa. The Cessa. It's not too bad. Obviously, too, it would save us money. I'd have to take a look at how they're doing this year. Nobody that I really want there from Tampa, all things considered. Hanson, I mean, no. There's got to be someone. I saw Grichuk there, but obviously not. Jose Rondon and Zach Birdie, not really who I had in mind. Wickren and Martinez is okay. But obviously, again, we're looking for more of a starter. Steven and Yanoa, Tyler Wells, Tyler Danish, that doesn't really help either. George Springer, I'm good, thanks. Muller, 24 being a 71. Nieder's there again. I know that there are teams with other offers, but again, if you're getting 2 players back, the value is, you know, likely to be better. So, Jose Quintana, if you weren't 33. Cody Reed, if you were 25 and not 28. Yeah, we're going to have to go the way of prospects here. Or at least a mix, because this is not exactly what we're looking for. So let's go with just all and see what the best options are. Otherwise, we're going to go just prospects. So Hernandez and Ortiz, Tate and Santander. Not looking too good. I wish I could clarify, hey, just starters. I know I can do that on the actual block, but still, again, Sanchez and Sessa. You know, let's take a look. How has Aaron Sanchez done this year? They also have Mike Soroka, because the rich get richer. He is a 75. He's a 79 playing like a 75 because he's in the minors. So he would be a complete shot in the dark. A complete shot in the dark. He hasn't been great, though, throughout this series, so that's a no. Man, the Yankees just bury a $6.7 million player in the minors. That's the most New York thing I've ever seen. So let's go back to just prospects here, then, and see what else we're dealing with. Again, I'd prefer it to be a starter, but at this point, I think we just have to look for the best player available. I still don't hate that offer from the Red Sox for Hernandez and Feltman. And again, if I were to ever dump a fellow AL team right now with a bunch of cap, it would be, or, you know, with a good player in theory in terms of overall, it would be Scherzer. So, I mean, that Hernandez, you know, or that, not that Hernandez, that Alexander offer is 22B and a 72. I want to make note of that. Because right now I still like the Hernandez-Feltman trade. But Alexander right now, Miguel Guillen's 21B and a 74. It would help the relief. He's being paired with Garcia and Cochran. To be honest, those offers from the Yankees aren't that bad. It's just, do I want to look for a starter or do I want to look for the best player available? That's my debate. Do I look for a deal that involves a starter, or do I just try to get back the best prospect possible and maybe even look to sign a free agent? Because we could get someone like Ryan Peraza. Okay, let's take a look here. So catcher-wise, we know we're pretty much good with Amaya. First base-wise, we do have Nick Pratto. We also have Pete Alonso, so we're kind of good there. Second base-wise, we have Gabe Little, so I don't think we necessarily need a prospect there. At third, I mean, we still have Vientos. At short, I mean, that's the thing, right? We're stacked already in terms of infield talent. Outfield-wise, Carmen Rodriguez, Carmona, Kalinic, Robinson. I mean, you know, getting back the best prospect available isn't the worst idea in the world, because it would just make the, you know, it'd make us prospect rich as if we aren't already. But I can't help but think that I want a starter back in the deal. Let me double check the free agent list here as well, because this is a little bit tough. Dylan Bundy or Mike Leake. Bundy would work better as a long reliever because that stamina is way too low, so we'd have to bring back someone like Mike Leake, which would be hilarious. Who we dealt to New York. He had been all right over the past few. Oh, yeah, all right's kind of meh. Oh, God. Do we want to rely on one of these guys or get a younger guy? As it is, most of these guys don't even have stamina left. I think we have to get a starter back in the deal. I think we have to. That's the way I'm going to do it. So we're going to look for a two-player trade that kind of gets us the best individual or best two prospects back. So we will look for a B potential starter and hope for the best. Someone like Josiah Gray, 24B and a 71. I like the Red Sox offer more. Rolison and Montano, I like the Red Sox offer more. I think it might actually end up being the Red Sox offer. Although, Solomon Jolly, 19B and a 65. That is not too shabby. Padlo and Plummer don't mean much, but Jolly could be an interesting pickup. And then Shapuki is okay, but obviously Jolly's a little bit better. Jolly's still better than Harrison Dowdy, by far. Casto and Gill. Fagan was there. I think we have our guy. Denneberg. I mean, yeah, I think we go for the Jolly offer from St. Louis. And granted, he's not exactly, you know, the starter I'd prefer. He's better than Schrader as well. The only way I go for someone like Schrader, or Schroeder perhaps, I've seen it pronounced different ways, or Enrique Flores, 20B and a 67. Flores is not bad from the Angels. You could argue he's on the same pace, and at the very least would be robbing an AL team over an NL team, which could have benefits down the road. You know, I think right now that Angels offer is the top of the board. Nunez, 22B and a 70 isn't bad. Get the Chiqui and Valencia back. We're both terrible. That Angels offer, man. That might be the one. Unless, again, that Red Sox offer is a little bit better than what I'm remembering. And Rob Nam. It would be okay because we'd be getting back Feltman. But the bullpen's already okay. So, you know, I think the Angels just won. I think we'll take Enrique Flores. And I'm going to do that. We'll take a half-decent starter away from a rival. Get back a couple of other players in return. Now, it's not exactly someone that I can immediately put into the lineup. We're going to have to bump somebody else up, and it's probably going to be Avi Perez, who's dominated double, or Doug Coggin. Do I bump up Avi Perez all the way to the majors? That is the debate right now, because I don't think I want Coggin as a starter. Either that or it's Wilkerson. You know, Avi Perez, you're already on the 40, man. Congratulations. You're coming all the way up to the majors. So the rotation is now going to be, I mean, you have those 6, and then AAA is 1. Wilson will get bumped up to AAA. That'll be 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 with Gaston. AA will be Ashcraft. 2, 3 with Wilkerson. 4, 5, and 6 with Mercado. So looking good. The AA team has, I didn't even remember who the hell else did we get back? I didn't even see where the hell they played, just because they were kind of irrelevant. Frazier and Alcantara. So a reliever and a shortstop. Let's go to the shortstops first. Alcantara's not bad, but we're going to just drop him down to single. Care more about the other guys that we have there. Not to mention Marte needs a bump up to double. So Rizzo. Here we're gonna bump up Vientos, even though he won't be the starter. And well, I don't know how exactly I want to set this up. Now that I look at it, Eric Hoyt's in the majors, Little's in AAA. Yeah, I don't really know how I want to set this up actually. So AAA is 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then doubles 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 with Garcia. So yeah, we still have way too many relievers now. But I mean, the good thing is we're not exactly hurting regardless. So I do still have to send down a random infielder aside from Alcantara. Who the hell do I want to prioritize here? Because there aren't even too many guys in AA. I guess it's going to be Kevin Fry that gets sent down. So there we go. We're at 25 across the board. So the rotation moving forward, we're going to put Chad Kuhl, I think. You know what? Fuck it. Avi Perez, congratulations. You're getting a chance here. That is the rotation right now. I know that's a little bit scary, but I feel like it's the right move overall, I hope. As we'll roll with Coggin and Wilson in the AAA lineup. And let's go ahead and have that be the bullpen. And then, of course, double is going to need slight changes as well. Good old Fryman, who I think is a starter. I'm going to guess he is based off of that. Let's go with this dude. Not that dude. There we go. Enrique Flores, congratulations, you're getting moved. Hate to tell you, buddy, but we'll just sort that out by overall. So, things are looking good. Whether or not we're done making changes, that is kind of, in your court at this point. It's whether or not we look to move on from Justice Sheffield and maybe even shop Tanaka. But we are still looking pretty good. We are in a playoff spot relatively comfortably. We have some underperforming players, cough, cough, hint, hint, who, if they step it up, we're certainly going to make the playoffs at this current pace. But lineup-wise, again, if we wanted to move on from Ubiashi, we have the built-in replacement with Jared Kelenic, who we could call up and give an opportunity to. And then the rotation, yeah, it leaves a bit to be desired, but I don't really see the need to go out and shop a lot of our guys who aren't quite ready yet. I mean, again, someone like Leahy, I don't exactly want to rush. We could give him the chance, but you look at some of those attributes, especially the hits and the Ks, it's a little bit concerning. But overall, we're in a pretty damn good spot. We will see in the next episode whether or not we are indeed a playoff team this year. But Max Scherzer, thank you very much for at least helping me rob a rival team of a half-decent pitching prospect. So overall, solid season to begin with, a very solid draft. We'll see, of course, whether or not, and actually, let's take a look here. Jorgensen would have been, Von Schmoll, what a name. Jorgensen would have been a decent, catching prospect, obviously. Is there anybody else who I was tempted to take? Raul Quiones. Not bad. At least he wasn't an A, though, so it doesn't make me feel very bad about that decision. Just a quick check over whether or not I done goofed in the draft, but tough to say with results like that we did. I think we did okay, all things considered. So that'll do it for this one. I thank you guys very much for watching. Of course, if you have not already done so, be sure to hit that like button, man. Support the video, support the channel. It is greatly appreciated. Check out everything in the description if you have not already done so. And until next time, have a good one. Take it easy. And remember, the next episode could see the Mariners make the playoffs for the first time in a long, long time.